Okay, hello everyone. In this video, we are gonna over the concept and the options that a multimeter or digital multimeter, specifically the model Fluke 87V Max, that you might see and work in the lab through the semester. And we are gonna see how we could work with that and how we could set that to measure the values that we want. Now, let's just start. As you can see in the screen, there are several, like four pins at the bottom of the multimeters. One is colored black and the rest is red. Now, the black one, we call it the common port. Okay, so whatever you, value, whatever parameter you want to measure, one of the pins, one of the terminals of the measurement is going to be the common mode. Okay, the common port. Now, for measuring different values, okay, we have different pins. If you want to measure the current, okay, we have the two pins, which is the these two pins in the video. These two are used for measuring the current, but they are distinguished by the range of the current that this device can measure. The top one can measure the current in a range of ampere, and the bottom one is for the range of milliamp or microamp. So based on your expectation, you need to use the specific port for measuring. Okay. Now, as you know, when we wanted to like measure the current, we have to put the multimeter in series with the component that we wanted to see how much current passing through. Okay, so this is gonna be in series with the component that you wanted to like measure the current. Now, the other pin here is used for measuring the resistance or capacitance or testing the diode and most commonly measuring the voltage. Okay, there is no range, a specific range for these ports. We are gonna go over how we can change the range so we can have a good resolution and better accuracy when we want to like measure these values. Now, there is a rotating knob here that basically sets the multimeter on the parameter that you want to like measure. Okay, there is an off option. We have AC volt, so you need to rotate if you want to like measure the AC voltage. You have to rotate the knob to this option. We have DC voltage. We have the DC on the range of millivolt. Okay, this option, the top one, would measure the resistance or capacitance. Then we have the option for testing the diode. Okay. The next one is the DC and AC amp meter for the range of amp and milliamp. Okay. And the last option we have in this device is the DC AC amp in the range of microamp. Okay, so these are the options that you can use for measuring the parameters. Now, you see several button on the top of this device below the screen. Okay, each of them has a specific function. Now, this yellow pin is the shift pin. Some of these options, as you can see, they measure several parameters. Okay, or like here, several type of parameter. This one help you to switch between the parameters. So like, for example, I'm putting the option ohm and farad, so resistor and capacitor. Now to change, in default is resistor, as you can see here. the measurement is in ohm, so it's a resistor. If I change that, if I push this button, now you can see, hopefully, yes, you can see it changes to the capacitance. Right now, is measuring the nanofarad. Okay, forget about the values. This is the error or the parasitic capacitance that we have between the probes. Okay, so don't worry about the values. Now, the next one named mean max. This one, let me change that to like a voltage. This one would help you to measure, like in AC volt, measure the maximum value, the minimum value, okay, or the average value. By clicking that, you can see probably, is that visible? Now, right now, I'm in average. You can see on the top of the number 6. Let me change that. Now it's max. Now it's min. Okay, so when you push this button, you can change what type of what value of that parameter you can measure. Now, the bottom the button that named range is changing actually the range of the value. Like for example, here in the ohm meter, you can see it's set on a range of mega. Okay, but it's not like we always have to measure the resistance that we're expecting that to have a value of mega. So sometimes it's kilo, so or other like values. So by clicking on the range, you can change the a range of our measurement. Right now is in ohm. Now it's kilo, as you can see. And now I'm changing to the mega. So by clicking on that, you change the range. Okay. This purple one here, which named auto hold, okay, this one freezes the display. So basically you have a stable reading. Okay, so because when we measure something, there are noise, there are variables in the circuit that affect the measurement, and sometimes the measurement would change. So you want to like stable that measurement so you can actually have a rigid, solid data. Now, there is another option here that that is labeled hertz and percentage. Okay, this toggle, okay, this option toggles between the frequency and the duty cycle. Okay, so you can change the frequency and the duty cycle. Now, the other option, you normally don't use that in the circuit lab. The other option, which is named REL delta, this one sets a current reading, whatever you have here, as a reference. So if there is a change, you can see those values of the change relative to that reference. Okay, so if you wanted to like measure the drift of any parameters, this one would help you to have an easier measurement. Okay, now there is a circled button here, which named high res. Okay, this one adds additional decimal to your measurement. So if you want to have higher resolution, by this one, you can change the place of the decimal point and have a better precision. And this part goes without saying, this is the screen when you want to like measure and read the measurement of your system. Okay. Now, remember, again, for amp meter, you use this multimeter in series in the circuit. For other options, resistance, voltage, capacitance, you use the probes in parallel with the component that you wanted to like, or the place that you wanted to conduct the measurement. Okay, there are several type of errors that you might face using this device. One would be the wrong connection or loose connection of the probes. Okay, so you want to make sure that you connecting the probes properly. Another one is that the common mistake is having DC and AC settings wrong. Okay, so especially in an ammeter, when you go to the ammeter, because the option measures the both AC and DC, the default is AC. As you can see here, the default is AC. Okay, so you need to change it by this shift button. You need to change it to the DC if you wanted to like measure a DC amp. Okay, so and as we said, another common mistake is setting the AC and DC in a wrong kind of like configuration. And next one is the range. Okay, so you need to have a proper range to have a precise reading and a good accuracy. Okay, now if you need more accuracy, as we said, you can use the circle button to change the resolution, basically changing the place of decimal point. Okay, and this range part is very important in the ammeter because we have different setting, different configuration for different range of amp, and we have different props for different range of amp. Okay, so be careful about those parameters. Now, there are a fuse inside that controls and protect the device for high current. Okay, so if you can turn on or there is a problem with this, check the fuse. There might be kind of like that fuse might be activated and burned out. Okay, and this one is supplied with a battery. Okay, so after a while, that battery would run out or get weak. So if there is a weak battery, that could affect the performance of the device. Okay, so if you see some very odd measurement, it's good to check those parts of your multimeter. So this is generally what we need to learn about this multimeter. Thank you and have a